In the dim light of a moonless night, in a small town forgotten by time, stands an old house filled with mysteries and secrets. The Martinez family has just moved in, seeking a fresh start away from the city's hustle and bustle. Among them is little Diego, a 10-year-old boy with a vivid imagination and insatiable curiosity. From the very first day, Diego felt an inexplicable attraction to the attic, a forbidden place according to his parents, but one that seemed to call him with an irresistible force. One afternoon, while his parents were busy unpacking, Diego decided to explore the attic. He climbed the creaky stairs, each step echoing in the silence of the house. As he opened the door, a smell of dust and old wood enveloped him. Among boxes filled with memories and antique furniture, he found a collection of dolls that seemed to have been forgotten by time. They were porcelain dolls, with expressionless faces and eyes that seemed to follow him wherever he went. Diego, fascinated, decided to take some to his room, unaware that this decision would change his life forever. Every night, as Diego tried to fall asleep, he heard small footsteps and childish laughter echoing in the darkness. At first, he thought it was his imagination, but he soon realized that the dolls were moving on their own. One night, he woke up startled by the sound of laughter coming from inside his closet. With his heart pounding, he got up and opened the closet door. There, in the dim light, he saw one of the dolls, its porcelain eyes gleaming in the darkness. Diego, terrified, slammed the door shut and ran back to bed, covering himself with the sheets. But the laughter and footsteps did not stop. Every night, the dolls seemed to come to life, moving around the room as if they had a will of their own. Diego tried to talk to his parents, but they, busy with the move, dismissed it as his imagination. However, Diego knew that something was wrong, very wrong. One night, determined to uncover the truth, Diego gathered his courage and stayed awake, watching the dolls. At midnight, the dolls began to move. They rose from their positions and walked towards him, their small footsteps echoing in the silence of the night. Diego, paralyzed with fear, could not move. The dolls approached, their porcelain faces illuminated by the moonlight filtering through the window. Suddenly, one of the dolls spoke. "Help us," it said in a voice that seemed to come from another world. Diego, surprised, asked what they wanted. The dolls told him that they had been trapped in the attic by a spell, and only a child could set them free. Diego, with his heart pounding, agreed to help them. The dolls gave him precise instructions. He had to find an ancient book in the attic and read a spell aloud. Diego, with a mix of fear and determination, climbed up to the attic and began his search. After hours of looking, he finally found the book, covered in dust and with yellowed pages. With the book in hand, he returned to his room and read the spell aloud. Suddenly, a bright light filled the room, and the dolls began to glow with a supernatural light. One by one, they disappeared, leaving only the echo of their laughter in the air. Diego, relieved, collapsed onto the bed, exhausted but happy to have helped the dolls. From that night on, the dolls never moved again, and the laughter and footsteps ceased. Diego kept the book in a safe place, promising never to disturb the attic again. The house, which once seemed filled with mysteries, now felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. The Martinez family finally found peace in their new home, and Diego, with a new story to tell, became the hero of his own adventure. And so, in the dim light of a moonless night, in a small town forgotten by time, an old house kept a secret that only a brave child could unravel. But the story of Diego and the attic dolls does not end there. As the days turned into weeks, Diego began to notice strange occurrences around the house. Objects would move on their own. Doors would creak open and shut without anyone touching them, and sometimes he would hear faint whispers in the wind. It was as if the house itself was trying to communicate with him. Diego, now more curious than afraid, decided to investigate further. He spent hours in the attic, searching through old boxes and dusty corners, looking for any clues that could explain the mysterious happenings. One day, while rummaging through an old trunk, Diego found a hidden compartment. Inside, he discovered a small, leather-bound journal. The pages were yellowed with age, and the handwriting was faint, but Diego could make out the words. It was a diary belonging to a girl named Clara who had lived in the house many years ago. As Diego read through the entries, he learned that Clara had been the one to cast the spell on the dolls. She had been a lonely child, with no friends or siblings, and the dolls had been her only companions. But one day, Clara's parents had decided to move, and she had been forced to leave her beloved dolls behind. In her desperation, Clara had cast a spell to bring the dolls to life, hoping that they would keep her company even after she was gone. Diego was moved by Clara's story and felt a deep connection to her. He understood her loneliness and her desire for companionship. He decided that he would do everything in his power to help Clara and her dolls find peace. With the diary in hand, Diego returned to the attic and began to read the spell aloud once more. This time, he felt a stronger presence, as if Clara herself was guiding him. As he finished the spell, a warm, comforting light filled the room, and Diego felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew that Clara and her dolls were finally free. From that day forward, the house was filled with a new energy. The strange occurrences stopped, and the house felt more like a home than ever before. Diego's parents noticed the change in their son and the house, and they were grateful for the peace that had finally settled over their new life. Diego, with his newfound knowledge and courage, became a beacon of hope and strength for his family. And the old house, with its secrets and mysteries, became a place of warmth and love. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to follow our channel for more tales of terror and mystery. Leave a like and a comment telling us what you thought of Diego and Clara's story. Until the next adventure,